Hi, this time I'm gonna be showing you a very quick tutorial on how to uh, make a rosebud center using my clover rose center bud. So the idea of having this tutorial, because mostly of my flowers, uh, although it says it's just for giant paper flowers, but absolutely you can make it as a rose once you get this template. So to show you, I have one template with two different sizes, and if you can see, the size is just slightly different. And let's call this larger one as template 1 and the smaller one is template 2. So in making one rosebud, you make one piece of this template 1 and you're going to need 2 of this template 2. So this is gonna be available in PDF and SVG in my Etsy shop. So without further delay, let's start this tutorial. So first of all, set aside your template 1. We don't need that one yet. So let's get one of the two template 2, and then let's start it by folding two opposite petals upward, and then just see the way how I do it. Hug it together, and then once you get the right place, you just need to secure it with a little bit of glue on the loose ends. If you have purchased like templates from my Etsy shop that has already attachment of this clover rose, you don't really have to buy this one at all. Like for example, if you bought the small rose template, this already has this clover rose center. So that clover rose center, you can use it with everything. So you can make your own rose using different petal but with the bud, this one. So after we have the two opposing leaf hugged together, now I'm starting the two remaining on this petal, two remaining leaf or petal. Just hug it alternately, one opposite of the others. So just be careful, it's really hot. And by the way, all you need is I have hot glue, I have my stick glue, my scissors if you still haven't cut it yet, I have my curler. So just the very basic. Sorry, I assume that everyone already has the knowledge of what to use, but sometimes there are really some viewers that this is just their very first time to see my tutorial. So after we have our innermost bud, let's get the second petal of this template 2, and then let's glue the assembled bud as center as we can with the other petal of template 2. So if you can see, this is like the side where we end gluing our petals. So that's also the same side that we're gonna start raising our second sheet of our petal, 2 petals, and we're going to hug it towards our bud. And let's do that with the opposite also. See, and then the two remaining petals. Give it a good seconds, especially if you have a recycled type paper. Luckily this is not one of them, but if it's a recycled paper, you'll have a hard time, you know, gluing it. So, sorry. So now we have our bud. Actually, if you have a very tight flower, like, you know, you don't have enough space, this bud is just all you need for you to put on a center. But if you have more wider opening in your flower, like this one, having more like layer would be helpful to cover the gap. So depending on, you know, how you assemble your flowers. But this is normally how I you know, make a flower bud. So now here's our one piece of template one. So what we need to do, you know, to create like a good natural look dimension on it, let's curl the sides outward like so, all of the sides. Actually, it doesn't really matter. The one that matters is how we position this one when we glue our bud to, you know, in it. So curling it. And then to have, you know, to have it, you know, a soft curl, we need to do like a soft curl in the middle. I'm just using my dowel rod. I'm not really making a harsh curl in it, but this way we just aid, you know, when we attach this one into our bud. So this is just the easiest way for me. You can also do a shorter, like the pen, a shorter curler, but if I can do it 2 at a time, you know, I think it's so much better. I'm not a lazy person, but I really don't want to make my work harder if I can work smarter. So now we can attach our bud into our last petal of this template, the rose center. So now again, let's start with where we last, like an opening. Let's start there, and then we will just gently see how it helps when you have already curled this one slightly. It creates a very nice curl here without it's very effortless compared to, you know, without curling it first before you attach it. So there it is. And then let's work on the opposite. So, you know, careful, it's hot, especially when you are using hot temperature glue. Speaking of hot temperature glue, I mean, there's really an advantage of using a low temperature, but there are different types of paper, and there are also different type of stick glue. However, I feel like, you know, using a low temperature glue gun, there are some tendencies that the glue won't stick as much compared to, you know, having the hot glue. But the disadvantage also of the hot glue, when you get burn in it, it really is hot. So now we're down to our last petal. Same with the others, all we need to do is just, you know, glue the sides. You see where I put the glue, it's almost like on the base. So there you have it. We have now our rosebud. This is not the flower that I'm gonna use this for, but you know, if you have the opening and you have like the rose petal, whatever it is, and then you can just put this one in the middle. So now there you go, you have a rose. But you know, with this rosebud also, it's not just, I don't just use this for like rose center, but also I'm using this one like, you know, I have my flower wall business, and every time I make a flower wall, you know, and the client is a bit meticulous and they really don't want to have any gap in it, this is the filler that I'm using. So it's really an advantage that you guys have this kind of template, and it's gonna be available on my Etsy, and I'm gonna write the description below in PDF and SVG. So thanks again for watching. Until next time, bye bye.